Did it again. Hey, adventurers, it's Phoenix. I hope you're doing well today. Congratulations on making it to another weekend, or just about another weekend. As you know, or maybe you don't know yet, but today we got additional information from Pax Dei in the form of the screenshot gallery that was promised last month. And so there are 20-something pictures, I think, and I actually made another video that I went through every single one of those, and it was 28 minutes long, so I don't want to go through that again. So I really kind of picked out a few different things I wanted to talk about from the available screenshots, and really just want to kind of poke through some of the things that I think we've already seen. So we're just going to jump straight in with the first one. Now, this is a screenshot that was already released back last month as kind of a sneak peek into the internal family and friends playtest building. And what I want to draw your attention to is really the actual building materials that we can see. So things like the roof with the kind of fibery thatch, as well as you can see the various different types of wall structures. So for example, in this one, in this grid of 4, we see that this bottom left one is different than the other 3. I don't know what material specifically it's made out of. It looks like some sort of a plaster, but idea being this, just kind of keep this in your back pocket for what we're going to see coming up next. So this is one of the new screenshots, and I think it has a few different things in here that I'd like to take a look at. First being, the easiest one is the boar that's sitting in the foreground. So we know that there was a boar running in the announcement video, but this is just another confirmation that being in game, you can see that there's a boar to fight. Well, we assume we can fight it. So drawing your attention to the background where the 2 buildings structures are, you can see that the left side there's actually what appears to be like a wooden type of a roof, and then on the right side you have what look like a shingled type of a roof. So I think that brings up to 3 what I would consider like build families of materials. So you've got like that fibery thatch, the wood, and then the shingle type of roofing. Also see a difference in the type of wall structures. So I mentioned, the previous video, there was the white grid where there's different windows with and without shutters, and we also have the building here on the left that has kind of that yellowish tinted structure that's there. So interesting to say the least. We've got a few different build families of materials that we can actually place. I know the building FAQ video showed some of the, I believe is the wooden structures that were being placed as well. So that, there's a few varieties out there, which is awesome. Hopefully we'll see more of that. Okay, so the next screenshot is actually kind of a series of screenshots, and I want to draw your attention to a few things. The first is just the size. We're talking about some of these structures. We've seen some of the videos already of them placing the structures, but just look at the size of just this valley. Some of these structures are fairly large in size, and they're just kind of all over the place. So I know I made like a map visualization back on Discord a while back, maybe 2 months ago now, and I think that the size of the world is going to surprise us. That's just the thing I keep coming back to, is like, it's going to be bigger than we think. It's going to be bigger than we think. So that's the first piece from this screenshot that I get, and you'll see more of that world size in the next couple. So I'll draw your attention up here to this building on the left. Just kind of note the roof style and how unique it how unique it looks. No offense to the player that made it, but just the roof piece and the pieces that are sticking out on the sides. We do have what appears to be like a castle ruins up here in the distance, and on this island, and then we have the player structures that are down here, including what looks to be a rounded pavilion type of thing, and then your typical square tower type of a thing that's out here. So one more thing I did want to note is just the variation of the tree sizes. It kind of adds a little bit of realism to the game, so I appreciate even just being able to see that, and being able to hopefully one day cut them all down. Okay, so moving on to the next screenshot. This is what I believe to be the other side of this valley, of the valley from this first screenshot. And the reason why is because of that building that's up on the left here. Again, notating the shape of the roof. You can kind of see it at just a different angle slightly, but behind it instead. And so again, just thinking through the size of the world, the fact that there's rivers running through this, like, it's a big world. One thing I found on this particular screenshot, and I don't know if this is an Easter egg or something, but there are a couple of characters down here in the bottom corner within this ruins. And so I think this is actually our first glimpse of in-game NPCs. They look like they have similar clothing on, and another piece of this particular the note that I want to make is they look really small. So I don't know if that means they're like actually like small NPCs, or if the ruins are as big as they look. You know, they're just actually large in size. Another thing to note is just how close this building off to, you know, the back, you know, how close it is to the POI. I find it interesting because I know in the FAQ they've said that players can't like claim these POI places that are pre-existing. And so I think this is a pre-existing structure that's not player made, but players can't claim it. So I'm wondering if there's any sort of like player protection around this area that would prevent people from claiming it. So I wish we had more information. Okay, and then one last thing to draw your attention to here, which we'll see more of in the next picture, is this city here in the background. So as you can see, we're up in the ruins here. You know, this, whoever the screenshot is, they're up probably at the top of this tower, or whatever used to be a tower. So they're looking down into the valley. So if we go to the next screenshot, this screenshot is from the other end of this valley, I think. And the reason why, again, is because we see that building that was kind of up on the hill, and then we have that tower that was also off to the right of that first screenshot. What's interesting to note, as you can see, there is actually no ruins here. So there was some speculation in Discord earlier this morning, or my morning, that maybe the ruins were added after the screenshot was taken, because you can tell this is, from what we can see, it's extremely flat, so it makes sense that something was placed there. That's a good theory, I think. I personally subscribe to the fact that maybe this is just a rendering thing because of how large the world is. So again, we don't know the distance between what building is here and this space up here, whether there's ruins there or not. So if we're talking a couple of meters in game, you know, maybe that made the difference there, but we don't really know. So taking a look at this developing city, I think we've seen parts of this before in previous screenshots, or at least I think we have, and if not, maybe I'm totally making it up, but I've looked at this like several times already, so maybe I'm just thinking about those. But it's just interesting to see the player unique creativity within the buildings themselves. You know, so you've got this rounded structure here with like a little deck balcony thing. You've got some unorganized and misplaced chests. I say misplaced because it seems like you can just kind of place them wherever. So hopefully there's a snapping system involved, but not confident that there is. But you got this other kind of oblong shaped polygon. I don't know how else to describe it, but so, you know, there's a lot of unique looking structures out here. So I'm hoping that this, in conjunction with the building material types or families, we'll see a lot of unique player structures. That's my hope. So one more screenshot I wanted to jump into, and so this is probably a concern of mine. I don't know how high on the priority list this would be, and that is station bloat. So as you can see in the screenshots, you know, there's several screenshots now of stations. There's a lot of stations that are just sitting there, and this is a prime example of what I mean. So I'll lump station and storage into the idea or the principle of station bloat. So in this screenshot, you can see there are 3 of these. They kind of look like a forge of some sort. So there's 3 forges here, which means that there's likely some sort of like a crafting limit or a time component that goes along with this, which makes sense. Thinking about something like Minecraft, there's a time component for things to become smelted or whatever. But I also want to draw your attention to the number of what we are considering in Discord the storage chests. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 here. There's what are probably like 3 rows of 6 or 7 chests. So we're talking about like close to 30 chests just on this station, or just on this crafting platform. That communicates to me that either the storage chests have very low storage limits, perhaps there's like a weight limit to them, I don't know, but it also communicates to me that the crafting system may be, I don't know if deep is the right word, but there may be a lot of requirements to craft particular materials, which is interesting. But it's just I don't know if it's a concern about the crafting materials as much as like the station bloat that I have. And so, and another reason why I say station bloat might be a concern of mine is because in the background here, you can see there is a platform, and it looks like what I think we're calling kilns, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 probably here. I mean, and there could even be more behind this tree. So players are creating these platforms to create and smelt and kiln. And so thinking about, I think there was a post in Discord, a particular player was concerned about the long-term effect of something like this, where it's just an entire plot is full of all of these station bloat things and how that might just look weird. I don't know that like I said, I'm kind of concerned about station bloat. There's various stations here. We've seen other screenshots that have stations as well. So it's going to be interesting, I think, to see what becomes of that. So again, just to kind of recap, we covered some of the various building materials we've seen. We talked about the world size, which I am super excited to see and hear and understand more about. The fact that there might be some NPCs we've seen for the first time, and a little bit about the station bloat concern that I have. So with that, I want to say happy Friday, happy weekend, good luck in the real world. I know that I need it, so I'm sure you do too. We'll chat in Discord, and take care, adventurers. Greetings and happy Friday.